Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to a match reaction show. It's finished AC Milan 0, Inter Milan 2 in the first leg of the Champions League semi-finals. And on the basis of that performance, I think it's safe to say that Inter Milan are heavy favorites to make it to the final if they haven't made it there already. It was a bit anticlimactic for a derby game. You felt because AC Milan just never looked like they took a while to get going, and they got going a little bit, but you never felt like they were ever going to get a draw out of it once they were 2-0 down. And you felt maybe okay, they might get a goal back here or there, but never really looked like they were going to get it back in the game. And that's a big issue for Pioli because even though they were missing Leao in this game, the way that they were being cut open in that midfield and defense was just embarrassing to watch really for a Milan fan. And the bigger problem is even if Leao does come back, they've got to fix that midfield. They've got to face the defense, and there were a few issues that I'll talk about. But the biggest point of all that is the fact that if you look, a lot of people are saying that the defense was the problem, but really what you want to look at is the midfield, because the way that I think Milan were playing a 4-3-3, but it could have been a 4-2-3-1. And the problem with playing a 4-2-3-1, if they're playing that, was that because Milan had 5 across the midfield, those 5 were really congregating on the 2 midfielders, whoever had the ball. They were just getting there. You could see that there was no space. So they kept winning the ball back. They kept recycling possession. And every time they won the ball back, because the other 4 players are too far up, and these guys are not in front of the ball, it felt like an overload in midfield and an overload in attack in essence. And they were really moving the ball very quickly. That first goal, though, has nothing to do with tactics. It's simply a good shot from Dzeko. I mean, someone who's scored a lot of goals, of course, for a lot of different clubs, and it's a fantastic finish though from Dzeko. I mean, that's just unbelievable the way that he takes it. It's a bit of good fortune because those are the kind of shots that either go in. When they go in, they look great. When they don't go in, they look foolish. But this one, he caught it sweetly and it went in. There was no chance for Maignan to save that. It was a fantastic finish from Dzeko. It's a good goal right at the start. I think what Inter did was what Napoli failed to do in the quarterfinals. They made the most of their good start. They made sure that they got that early goal. They put the pressure on Milan, and then they asserted their dominance. Dominance is all good and well, but unless you score, that doesn't really count for anything. So they got that first goal, and then very quickly the second goal. The second goal came because of that high press, because of the fact that they won the ball back high up the pitch. They could quickly move forward. And I mean, Dzeko makes such a nice run across the pitch, takes Tomori out of the game. I don't know where he's going. And it's a nice dummy from Lautaro Martinez as well, which will probably not be noted well, but it's a wonderful dummy, and it just falls to make it there. And he's got like he's got the whole pitch in front of him to decide. He's got the whole goal to decide where he wants to put it in, because he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper in that sort of position. He just finishes it nicely. It's 2-0. And I mean, at that point, it felt like it was almost game over, and I still feel that it's probably game over, because the problem from AC Milan is how do they get back into this game? Are they going to win by 2 clear goals in the second leg? I just don't think they can win by 2 clear goals. I mean, I don't think they're going to score 2 goals anyway. Like, where they're going to get 2 goals from? But secondly, even if they do score 2 goals, which is the minimum that they need, I don't think they're going to be able to keep a clean sheet. So they're probably looking at getting 3 or 4 goals in a game, and I just don't see it happening. So that was it. But could have been worse. It could have been worse. I mean, Mkhitaryan hit the post, and then the penalty decision. Now it's a bit contentious that people said. My initial reaction when I saw it was that it's not a penalty, but because the referee has given it, generally those don't get overturned. Those are the borderline decisions. But the referee, the VAR, to his credit, he told the referee, go and have a look because it might not be a penalty. And he changed decision, which was the right decision because it was not a penalty. The contact was weight. At first I thought, yeah, you know what, it looks like a penalty. From far away, it looked like a penalty. But when I saw the replays, I'm like, no, that's not a penalty, because he's not really caught him. He's just kind of touched him. And Martinez just goes down theatrically, like, oh my God, I've been touched. So it is one of those where, because there's contact, like they said, there's contact, so it's not a clear and obvious error, so you got to overturn it. But you know what? It was not a penalty. That really was not a penalty. And I think the ref and the VR is probably just saying, go and have a look. These are the kind of things that you don't give a penalty for. So just go and take a look and see if you want to give a penalty. And I think that was the right decision. So they got the right decision in the end. The contentious part, of course, was that clear and obvious. But you know what? It's the right decision. So if you get the right decision in the end, I don't think it should be a problem. But nonetheless, it's I mean, I'm sure there'll be people who have all their opinions. So let me know what you thought of it. Did you think it was a penalty? Did you think it should have been overturned? I just feel it was not a penalty, but I've never seen those kind of penalties being overturned. But it was good to see that happen. And maybe, hopefully, it happens more, because that really wasn't the right decision initially. They came to the right decision eventually. But But yeah, it could have been 3-0, could have been 4-0. I mean, the second half was a couple of chances. I think all the best chances fell to Inter Milan. I mean, AC Milan had a couple of pops here and there, but they never really seriously looked like they were going to get a goal back. And they were really going to trouble Ronaldo. Junior Masai had a couple of good opportunities, which he could have made more of, especially the pass from Tonali, which reached him. It was splitting pass there between two players. So fantastic pass, and deserved an assist. But Junior Masai said, two shots that he had, both of them wildly off target. I don't know whether it was nerves, whether what it was. I don't think he should be starting the next game. I honestly don't. I think they got to find somebody else. Maybe Pobega could start that game. I think Kjaer has also got to start the next game instead of maybe Kjaer or Tomori. I don't know who one of them, but one of them's got to come off and Diaz got to come in because Diaz was really, really good in this game. Calabria for me was the worst player on the pitch. I mean, absolute shocker what he had in this game. I don't know how he lasted as long as he did, probably because he's the captain, but he had an absolute nightmare. The number of times that he gave the ball away cheaply. There were times he was just rolling the ball outside, went out for a throw in. He was giving the ball away to the opposition players. The players running past him, and just he had an absolute shock. At least the first half was shocker. The second half, I don't think the second half was that much better. But Milan were more attacking, so he kind of maybe mastered. But he just looked off the pace completely from start to finish in this game. And so that's something they're gonna have to look at. And then obviously it's a midfield that they need to fix. I think what Pioli should have done is that he should have gone to a back three. As soon as he saw that happening, he should have gone to a back three. And maybe in the second leg, they might have to go to a back three because they want to counter that midfield overload that Inter were creating. They did that quite well in the second half, I felt. But then once they went to a midfield 5, went to 4-5-1, and maybe they counter that. Maybe that's the answer, to play 4-5-1 instead of a 4-3-3. But the point is, I think now the issue for Milan is they're going to have to be proactive rather than reactive. So they can't just contain Inter. They're going to have to try and figure out a way where they can contain them and then also score against them. So that would be the thing. From Inter Milan's point of view, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I don't think anybody had a bad game as such. I mean, everybody was on point. I thought that midfield three of Barella, Calhanoglu, and Mkhitaryan did excellently well. Every time Milan looked like they would maybe going to dominate, then they just found a way to pull it back, found the passes, found the lanes. It was just fantastic to watch. And I thought Lautaro Martinez will not get a lot of praise for this game, but I thought he was fantastic today. The way that he was probably the one who was leading the press. He was the one who was leading the press. He led by example. He was making sure that every time he got the ball, he was getting forward. It's absolute thorn in the side for AC Milan. And it's a little bit, it's just a good. I don't think he's ever going to be. I mean, I don't think he's an elite level goal scorer. But as a striker, as a second striker, I think he does a lot of damage for teams. I think he loves that role. So that'll be interesting to see how he can, fare in the second leg. But you gotta keep that team. I don't think they'll be too many changes. I don't anticipate Inter making any changes. They don't need to because the first 11 did really, really well in this game. And yes, I expect them to do that, but it was just fantastic to watch from Inter Milan. I thought, and in Bastoni, got to talk about Bastoni. I think Bastoni would be my man of the match. As much as they scored 2 goals and look really good, I think Bastoni, it's got to be either Lautaro Martinez or Bastoni. I think it's probably my pick, or maybe Barella. Actually, Barella was pretty good as well. But I think Bastoni gets a man of the match because every time he's just marauding forward, like a quarterback, like almost like a number 10. He was just marauding forward and never looked out of place defensively. I thought he was fantastic today. He would be my pick for man of the match, but you can let me know if you differ on that. But anyways, he was fantastic today. I love watching him play today. I think he had a lot of good touches. I mean, from Inter's point of view, now they've just got to do what they've done and see this out because 90 more minutes to go. The good thing, the fact is that they have 2-goal lead, so they should not be afraid, and they're going to be at home, technically home. They're going to have their home fans. In the second leg, so they should feel confident about seeing this through. And from if I'm Manchester City and I'm looking at my potential opponents for the final, the reality is I think you'd rather. I don't think AC Milan are a threat now. I don't think either team are a threat anyway to Manchester City, but you look at AC Milan and you think, well, you'd rather fancy play AC Milan. You hope AC Milan can make a comeback and win because AC Milan's defense is completely porous. And so you'd rather have them win. But I feel Inter Milan will win it. But if they go out, they go out. But I think if you're a City fan right now, you probably want to play AC Milan in the Champions League final. But we'll see what happens. Of course, it's a 1 more leg. It will take an almighty performance from AC Milan to come back from here, to be honest. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I just feel Inter Milan right now, they're playing on a very different level. They've won a lot of games recently. They found some form. Whether that will be enough to win the tournament is a different matter, but they just look good to get to the final at least. Anyway, smash like if you enjoyed this video. Smash like for Inter Milan. Congratulations to the Milan fans for this win. And let's see what happens in the second leg, of course. Do share your thoughts and comments in the video. It's always love to hear from you guys. Do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We always appreciate your support, of course. We've got a couple more videos that we'll be doing. So thank you so much. Stay notified and take care. See you again soon. Bye-bye.